This is a true story. The cold steel of the pistol pressed against my temple, and the gunman said, "I could shoot you right now and no one would ever know." What could I say to that? "Well, I guess you're right," I replied. Satisfied that I would be more cooperative, the young policeman holstered his gun, thinking he'd scared me into confessing. And my interrogation went on till 3 a.m. when they took me back to my cell. I had been arrested for sharing my faith in Jesus. The authorities in this Middle Eastern country did not like my doing that, although it was not illegal. They wanted to squash our attempt to spread the gospel, so here I was in jail. This short video is brought to you by Echoland Farm Ministries, a division of Edifying Services Publishing, providing books to build a better life and help to stimulate inner spiritual transformation. This presentation is about offering the sacrifice of thanksgiving, a counterintuitive upside-down concept that is giving thanks for what we don't like, but it leads to freedom and joy. Psalm 50:23 is the primary presentation of what it means to offer the sacrifice of thanksgiving. It says, "They who offer the sacrifice of thanksgiving do three things. First, they honor God. Second, they open the way. That is, open the doors to the possibility of God's help. And third, it makes it possible for God then to show them the salvation of the Lord, as he did with Noah." The sacrifice of thanksgiving is giving thanks for what we don't like, want, or prefer. It is a sacrifice to do this because it costs us. We are denying ourselves while trusting God. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 expands on this. "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." That's pretty direct, the will of God, and pretty inclusive, everything. As I sat waiting in my jail cell surrounded by other prisoners, I remembered that God always has a plan, a good plan, and this situation was part of it. So I offered the following sacrifice of thanksgiving prayer. "Lord, I don't like this disheartening situation, but I thank you for it, for you have a plan here, and we'll use it for good in our lives." The next morning, our cell door was open, and we were free to go home. But that was not the end of harassment. The police made sure that I was fired from my job at the university. Our little church was expelled from our meeting place. We were almost expelled from our home, and our friends stayed far from us as we were politically hot. And then the really bad news. Other believers and I were being put on trial for propaganda, a serious political crime. And the prosecuting attorney asked for a 7-year prison term for us. How could I possibly offer the sacrifice of thanksgiving for all of this? Well, by faith, I decided to do that anyway, but strictly by my will, for my feelings were against it. I obeyed Psalm 50:23, knowing that he who offers the sacrifice of thanksgiving honors God and opens the way that God may show him the salvation of the Lord. So I did it. I thank God every day for the arrests, the losses of job and support, the upcoming trial, and the threat of a 7-year prison term. Trusting that God had a plan here, that by faith I could honor him and know that he would show me the salvation of the Lord, whether it included a 7-year prison sentence or an acquittal. And what did God do? He let us wait for several months for the trial, which was a call for ongoing trust. Then at the trial, he had the prosecuting attorney defend us, saying these people had done nothing outside of the framework of the law. And then he proceeded to list our rights to choose a religion, to learn about it, to form a congregation, to worship, and to propagate our religion. Now we had an official document stating our rights. As a result, the spirit of fear among believers was broken and replaced with joy. And this ushered in 14 years of great freedom to share the gospel, before the next wave of persecution came, which involved shooting Christians. So, offering the sacrifice of thanksgiving is a wonderful privilege. It is joining God in His great work. It is powerful and enduring and glorious. It is counterintuitive and done in faith and honors God greatly. So I encourage you to memorize Psalm 50:23. He who offers the sacrifice of thanksgiving honors God and opens the way that he may show him the salvation of the Lord. Trust God and praise in faith in everything. You will be amazed at what He will do, as He did for us through the arrests. For more information on offering the sacrifice of thanksgiving and much more, get a copy of this book from Amazon.com under S.M. Wibberley.